right, well, are you ready?
Yes.
Yes? All right. So for everyone that's tuned in, I'm Jessica Campbell. I'm with Aphasia Access, and this is Dr. Abby Roper. She's kind of setting off our Aphasia Awareness Month line of activities. So without further ado, hand it over to you.
Thank you very much, Jessica. I'm just going to start sharing my presentation, and then you'll see me talking through what I've got to say to you all. So, hello. Welcome to the Tavistock Trust for Aphasia's Software Finder. This is a free searchable database for people with aphasia and for their carers, and for speech and language therapists or speech pathologists, as I know they're known elsewhere. My name's Dr. Abby Roper. I'm a consultant speech and language therapist for the Aphasia Software Finder, and I'm based at City University in London, and that's in the UK. I work alongside the rest of the team, which includes Sarah Woodward, the excellent consultant speech and language therapist who is responsible for compiling the database of apps, software and evidence on the Aphasia Software Finder. I also work alongside Nicole Campbell, who, as a trustee of the Tavistock Trust for Aphasia, originally thought of creating this website. And also Dr. Brian Petheram, who's an information technology and aphasia expert who used to work at the Speech and Language Therapy Research Unit in Bristol, UK. So the Aphasia Software Finder is a website which is free to use, and that's because it's funded by the Tavistock Trust for Aphasia. And the Trust is very grateful to Mrs. Charmaine Mallinckrodt and the Aranda Rothschild Foundation for their generous support in making this website available. So you can access the Aphasia Software Finder site directly by clicking on the little blue link at the bottom or typing into your search bar aphasiasoftwarefinder.org. When you arrive on the site, you'll see the welcome page and then a series of buttons or tabs along the top relating to what you might wish to look for. Under the Aphasia Apps and Software tab, you will find programs which specifically target therapy activities for people with aphasia. Under the General Apps and Software tab, you'll find therapy or daily living apps which weren't designed for people with aphasia specifically, but which they may nevertheless find useful. So for example, it might be programs that have been designed for people who use English as a foreign language, or apps to support activities of daily living, things like visual calendars. Under the What's New tab here, you will find recently added or updated items. So when new aphasia apps, general apps or research evidence is added to the site, it will pop up here for 60 days. If you become a regular user of the site, you might find it useful to use this when you check in to see at a glance if anything new has been added since your last visit. Under the Research Evidence tab, you'll find a list of papers relating to computer therapy and aphasia, and also some more general papers about using technology generally with people with aphasia. Finally, under the Other Resources and Help tab, you can find useful links and resources, which I'll highlight right at the end of the presentation. Okay. So, what is the Aphasia Software Finder? It's a site for anyone. It's been reviewed by people with aphasia. It aims to present objective information about aphasia therapy programs, but it's also helpful to clinicians who are working with other client groups with speech and language needs. It provides article references, useful links and resources. It started in 2011 And it's worth pointing out here that I joined in 2019, so I'm a real latecomer. So I really can't accept any credit except for being the person who's willing to talk on camera about things. And in 2012, it was a finalist in the Tech for Good Awards. So the site has been designed with everyone in mind. That includes the layperson, people with aphasia, and also professionals and the families of people with aphasia. We've tried to collate in one place objective information about, we think, all the aphasia software programs and apps in the English language. We also include apps and software which could be useful for activities of daily living, which people with aphasia may still struggle with. There's a What's New page to see at a glance programs or articles which have been recently added. And there's an evidence tab leading to articles about computer therapy and aphasia. Finally, there is an other resources and help tab. We've based the format and the layout on the site on recent evidence about what makes resources and websites aphasia friendly. So here are some interesting statistics about visitors to the site. As you can see, we've had many visitors from all over the world. So the website has had between 12,000 and 16,000 visits per year in recent years, of which 39% of our visitors come from the UK, 28% of our visitors, 39% come from the USA, sorry, 28 come from the UK. The remaining 33% of visitors is made up from visitors from over 57 countries. So the top 10 countries who visit regularly outside of the USA and the UK are Australia, Brazil, Canada, Germany, India, New Zealand, and South Korea, which we're very thrilled about, that this is a resource that can reach people anywhere in the world. So, why was it developed? The Aphasia software finder was developed because not everyone with aphasia has access to a regular speech and language therapist. These people often look for alternatives, and they often search online. And if they do a search, they'll find the suppliers who pay to be at the top of the search. If they then go to the suppliers' websites directly, they aren't necessarily given objective information. So we wanted to collate in one place for free objective information on which people could base their purchasing decisions. There are now a good number of therapy programs and apps aimed at people with aphasia. And how do they choose? How do they narrow them down? We actually have several hundred programs on the Aphasia software finder now. The Aphasia software finder and aphasia and the advanced search functions help people to narrow down their search so that they can explore programs in more detail, which might be of interest and of benefit to them. Finally, the site was developed because current evidence demonstrates that computer-assisted treatments are an effective way to intensify and continue the rehab process. So let's see the options if we click on the Aphasia apps and software tab. When we do that, we've got 5 options here and 4 search options. So the first box, how to search for aphasia apps and software, outlines what I'm about to tell you in the next few slides. And the 4 remaining options, search finder, search list, comparison table, and advanced search for professionals, are what we'll talk through next. So if you click on the search finder, it will ask you to narrow down your search. So here you want to think about what area of speech and language is it that you want to target. Once you've clicked on a main category, then there might be further submenus. So for example, if we decide that we want to click on following instructions, you'll come to this page. Then it will ask us to narrow down what type of instructions we mean. So do we mean written instructions or remembering instructions? And you'd click on one of those options to narrow down your search. Once you've fine-tuned your search in this way, you'll be presented with a list of options of programs. This list gives you very brief information about each package. You can see at a glance which platforms it performs on, whether there's a UK version or an American version, whether there's a free trial. And it's always a good idea to look for a free trial before you spend any money on purchasing an app. If you click on the underlined name of the program, just here, it will take you to the program summary. And this might be either a simplified summary for people with aphasia or a more detailed summary. And if you click on the icon, the picture just below, it will take you to the supplier's website. This Finder facility is also available on the General Apps and Software tab, which sits along the top menu usually. Now, if we go back to the top menu that we talked about, we've looked at Search Finder, and now we're going to look at Search List. So if you click on Search List, you'll be presented with an alphabetical list of all of the aphasia apps and programs on the website. And like in the example before, you can click on the underlined name of the program and it will take you to the program summary, or you can click on the icon to go to the supplier's website. So the difference here is that this will give you a full comprehensive list in alphabetical order of all of the programs. So this might be a few hundred. So it's a less narrow, but a more comprehensive list of software. Okay, so we've looked at Search Finder and Search List. Next, we're going to look at the comparison table. If you go to the Aphasia Apps and Software button at the top of your page and click on Comparison Table, the comparison table will appear. This could be a useful option if you have a short list of potential programs, but you want to compare them. So for example, you might only want to consider programs which can be personalized, or where the results are recorded, or those which work on an iPad, for example, or perhaps those which have a free trial. That's the comparison table. And this is our most recent addition to the website. So if you've used it before, but not for a little while, this one might be new for you. And this is the advanced search for professionals. If you click here, the advanced search function was developed because with over 300 apps and software programs on the site, it was becoming a bit unwieldy for professionals to find what they wanted quickly. Using the advanced search, you can really whittle down your criteria. So the more criteria you tick, there's a big long list here, the more criteria you tick down the list on the side, the fewer options will appear in your final list that's generated on the right here. Indeed, sometimes it may give you nothing, so you might need to go back and untick a couple and be a bit less specific. Don't forget to scroll down to see the results. So particularly if you're viewing this website on a small screen, so maybe a cell phone, a mobile phone, or a small tablet device, it might look as though there have been no results which have appeared, but actually all you need to do is scroll down below the Read More menu and you'll get to see the list that's been generated for your criteria. Okay. So another feature of that list, that searchable list, and one thing that professionals often want to search for is programs with an evidence base. So actually there are very few programs out there which have a lot of evidence collected about them at the moment, but there are quite a number of programs which are based on existing evidence and existing theory. So if this is what you're looking for, you need to tick on the theory evidence box from the filter list, and then you'll get a list of things which have which the creators claim to have come from a theory base. So what you'll see here, this will generate something where the apps are recorded as theory or evidence based because the supplier has explicitly told us, and also has a place on their website that states that the things that the apps that they've provided are are theory based. Now, at the Aphasia software, we don't investigate or evaluate these statements, but we do directly ask we have directly asked each and every supplier to confirm that that is the case, and we will only do it if they've said that on the website. So you will need to look at our criteria for theory based, and we are relying on clinicians to use their clinical judgment to implement this. So if the program is based on a theory or model that you use in therapy, for example, does the app do what you'd like it to do for this treatment program? Okay, so those are our list of searches. Now I'm just going to go over to this category here, which is research evidence. So if you click on the research evidence button, we've moved away from searching through the apps which are on the site, and if you click on the research evidence button from the main menu, it will take you to this section. So the evidence section here contains articles relating to aphasia and computer therapy, or use of technology with people with aphasia or by people with aphasia. The articles at the top of the page are specifically related to aphasia therapy, and the articles which you'll find at the bottom are related to aphasia and technology more generally. For technical reasons, we've chosen not to be able to link directly to the articles when you click on them, but if you right click and ask it to open in a browser, or you copy and paste the title into a search engine, you'll usually be able to access the article in question. Okay, so there's our evidence base and our search features. Now I'm just going to tell you about the final section that I wanted to talk to you about, and this is the other resources and help. So this is right at the end of the top menu, which always sits on the Aphasia software page. And if you click on the other resources and help, it will give you this drop down list here. So here you'll find links to useful resources and tips. For example, under this, you can find links for top tips about how to make computers more accessible. So for example, if somebody might benefit from using text to speech or a screen magnifier. And there were also suggestions for useful resources that speech and language therapists or speech and language pathologists might find useful. We recently added to this list of resources because there are now some fun and useful Alexa skills which can be used as a part of therapy for people with aphasia. And these can also be used for people who use AAC, so augmentative or alternative communication. And Alexa skills can also be used by people with dysarthria. Those are the client groups that we've trialled them with so far between ourselves at the Aphasia Software Finder. This is a great thing to maybe explore during lockdown. So you might play with spelling games, memory quizzes, true false games, planning games. Things like Escape the Room is good for people with traumatic brain injury, or listening activities. So that's the last little bonus feature that I wanted to talk to you about on the presentation today. We hope you found the guided tour of the Aphasia software finder helpful. And now we hope that you will enjoy searching and using the site yourself. So that's the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for listening. And I'm very happy to have a chat and try and answer any questions that you might have. Thank you.
Thank you, Abby. It's very interesting. We did get a question come in, and I'm wondering actually too, what other languages are supported?
Ooh, that's a good question. So the main language that we have the ability to check the quality of is English. But what we do have on the site, I'm just going to try and pull it up now and see. This is where it gets a little bit more unpredictable. Let's have a look. So you can see this now, I hope?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So let me find it. Okay. Move myself around. So what I've done is I've gone to the Aphasia apps and software page and clicked on the advanced search for professionals here. And what we have, other languages available. So the key things that you can filter your searches by are whether it's UK English, American English, Australian English, but we also have a tab here for any other apps that we've been informed about and which we know about, which are available in other languages or which claim to have a second version available in another language. So if you wanted to search all of those that are available, you would click on this filter here, and you would see a list of a number of the different apps which are available in other languages. So there's not hundreds, but there are definitely some, and you should be able to find out by looking on there. Let's see if it will tell us which other languages. So this one's got US terminology or vocabulary. So the way to find out is to go to the Aphasia apps and software finder, the advanced search, and then click down to look at other languages available. So you can use that search feature to have a look. So the main ones supported are English and its variants within the UK, America and Australia, but you might find other specifics via the other languages search on the advanced finder.
Great, thank you, Abby. We have another question come in.
Yep. Thank you.
So what about reviews for useful apps and software?
What does that refer to? Is there more?
From the speech pathologist.
Okay. So I suppose what you'll see here is if I go to the web page, I'll show you kind of what our review system looks like. Here we go. Right, if I just go to the list, what you can see is that every single piece of software that's listed on the site will have a clickable link. So if you click on that link, for example, I'm going to look at advanced comprehension therapy here. You've got two options. So this will present you not with a personal review per se, but with an expert clinical analysis of the features. And that will inform you and allow you to make a decision. So we don't do a number rating or anything like that. We simply extract the same information about every single app and present it to you to make an informed decision. So there's a simple summary, which is the first thing that you'll land on. Or if you want to get a little bit more detailed information, perhaps you're a speech and language therapist trying to make a decision, you can click on the advanced detail link. And this will give you much more information about the specific type of exercises which are involved, how many items are in there, and some of the specific nuances which might interest you and help you make a decision about whether that's something that might be suitable for the person that you're thinking about using this with. So you can see this example here. Okay, so that's what the review system looks like. It's more a case of providing a detailed set of information or a more simplified set of information about every single app which is on the website. And I think I said that there's over 300 in total on there.
Okay, I have a question as well, if you don't mind.
Yep.
I'm not sure if it was covered exactly, but how is it decided what material gets put onto this finder? Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Rated, not rated, but how is it decided which one goes in and which
doesn't get in?
Yeah.
Okay, so we as a collection of people are connected to a variety of different sources of awareness. So two of us on the team and the Aphasia software team are practicing clinicians, speech and language therapists, pathologists. And we also have somebody who works in the computer, Brian, who is in the information technology domain, and Nicole, who is a very active member of the Aphasia network, the global Aphasia network, as her role as an Aphasia, a trustee on the Tavistock Trust for Aphasia. And so we come across things, and also because we're established, we get sent things to consider for the website, and those will be appraised by, in theory it'll be me, but I haven't been on there long enough to do it, so all the work up until this point has been done by my fabulous colleague Sarah Woodward. And what we really make a decision on there is this something which is doing what it claims to do? Do we feel comfortable as a clinician, from our perspective, that this is something which is suitable for us to share information about? And so we'll screen out things which we don't feel are appropriate, but anything which there probably is a strict criteria that I might be able to articulate, but I haven't articulated very clearly. But we use our clinical judgment. So there's absolutely no, we never pay for software. We never get paid for any of the contributions. It's an entirely, the decision about what goes on there is entirely based on the merit of the software itself.
Right. Okay. So I don't see any more questions right now. But I want to thank you, Abby, for joining us today and sharing all about the Aphasia Software Finder.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Jessica, for having me, and team at the Aphasia Access, and thanks for all the lovely stuff you're doing there. Oh, I've got a disclaimer as well. There is a piece of software on the site which I have had a hand in developing. It's a free piece of software called Make Right, and it's not something that I make any money off of, but I did have a hand in developing in it, and it's on there. It's been reviewed by my colleague and not by me, so that there's hopefully a fair judgment on what it is. But yes, absolutely, that's just my little vested interest, just to let you know that I don't make any money off it.
Oh, I have someone asking if you could show the main page one more time before we go.
Yeah, for sure. I'll show the main landing page. Here we go. Was there a particular thing on the main landing page that somebody might like to see? Not been mentioned?
Mentioned.
Okay, I'm just going to point out something which I didn't point out before because I was working from pictures, is that there are help videos on several of the pages. So if you wanted to click on this link, which shows you a help video, that might be a helpful and more clear way for somebody with aphasia, for example, to understand the content as opposed to relying on the text alone. And there are also options to print the pages for people if they want to have them as a reference.
Okay. All right. Thank you again, Abby, for joining us and for kicking off our Aphasia Awareness Month.
You're very welcome. Happy Aphasia Awareness Month, everybody. I hope you've all got your bunting out and you're doing your bit for raising aphasia awareness, and here's to lots more awareness for everybody.
Definitely, yes. So, I mean, unless anyone has any last minute questions, I think we're good. I think you've stunned everybody, Abby. All right, well, thank you very much for joining us and for tuning in for this Aphasia Software Finder webinar, fireside chat that will be posted later on. And enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.